So now let's look at eTransmit. Would be one thing to look at. What else was it we had to look at? We didn't do the export to DWFx as yet. We'll do that as well. Actually, maybe we'll do that first. Let's just close that. Now export to DWFx. Yep. All right. So the first thing that people go to is export. DWFx, perfect, love it. All right. The problem with this one here is that it doesn't really allow you to select an area you want to print, or like a scale, or apply colors to it, whether it's black and white or things like that. So it's just what you see is what you get. I don't really like this. It's quick and easy by the look of it. There it is. I'll do one, and oh, comes up with this program. You probably don't have that. Design review doesn't even exist anymore. All right, so there is DWFx. Beautiful. DWFx is basically similar to XPS, which is the format that Windows has. So an XPS viewer will look at DWFx file, for example. All right, so let's have a look. The preferred way would be to go to here and go to print, to plot, or however you go to print. Personally, I'm just having plot, enter. Okay, so any way you do it. Unreconciled layers. This is where it gets you the unreconciled layers. It says, oh, there's a couple of layers in here that you have updated before. Let's see. Yeah. All right. Look, all right. Let's see if it. Thank you for that. Hopefully it'll work this time. To get from here. Okay. What if I say no? Okay, it comes up anyway. Okay. Weird thing. All right. So paper we want to print it on. Yeah, A4 is fine. Really. Landscape, maybe sort of a longish thing. Actually, that was a bad way to do it. You shouldn't select your paper first. You should really select your printer first, because it will change once you select your printer anyway. Okay, so what we're going to print it to? We don't print anything to paper. We print everything to PDF or DWFx or something like that. All right. So if we go down a little bit, we've got the PDF printer here. We've got the DWFx ePlot, XPS compatible, preferred. All right, that's the new one. The old one is that one. So all the new sort of files seem to have this X on the end of it, like docx and XLSX. It's like everything's got an X nowadays. I'm waiting for the DWGX to come out. Anyway, so let's go with, of course you can do JPEGs as well, or PNG files. All right, so here's where you go and do all that. So let's go XPS. And here you can give it the display so you can see what you want to print. So it displays what we're looking at there, but if you want to print the extents or the window, so you can select only just a part of it to print, you can still do that. I would just go with the extents perhaps and see what we get. Okay, here you can set your scale as well if you want. You can do whatever, but being a perspective, it doesn't really make much sense to do it to scale. If it was isometric, yeah. So yeah. So we'll just fit to paper is what we want really. Center it. There you go. Before I had center on, it had a little red line on there on the top, which means it's going to cut off a bit off one edge. But after I centered it, what it did, it rearranged these numbers here so that it's all going to fit in the middle. And I'll leave that on there anyway. Okay, the other thing you can do, as I said, is if I leave it to none, I'll get the colors as they are, which is probably what we want. But you can do grayscale, or you can do monochrome. So we did grayscale, for example. Yes, assign that. We can go to preview. Perfect. How about that? Well, that didn't work. But, don't know why. Should have worked. Let's go to monochrome totally. Yes. Preview. Nothing works. The only time that wouldn't work normally is when the colors you assigned are actually from the that 6 million color palette rather than the AutoCAD palette that we selected from. I don't quite know why, because maybe the visual style we got on, perhaps. Let's just displayed. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. But here you can actually override that as well. You can go like hidden if you want, hidden view, so I can go previous if that works. So you can do it like that. Even though your screen says something else, when you print it, you can assign some other visual style. As I said, I don't know why that monochrome thing didn't work. But anyway, generally, I don't normally change that for perspectives, but so I never really noticed that before. But let's just go with, now I can't go back to what I had. Let's go with shaded with edges anyway. Okay, preview. Now the thing to do here is once you got it right at previewing it, if you decided at this point, gee, there's some change I want to do, or I'm going to go back to my drawing, and you've done all this work in setting it up, it's handy for you to go apply to layout. That way I can cancel out of it, come back in, and it's basically set up how I had it before. My printer's there, everything's there, right? The other thing to do is also save changes to layout. This would have been okay if I didn't press that, and I just pressed OK, and I had this ticked. It will save what I've just done, and then next time I come back in, all those settings will be there for me. Now this is handy not just for this, but for all your future AutoCAD style subjects that you have as well. Okay. So okay, if I go OK now, it comes up and asks me for a name, which is fine. We'll go with that. Okay, there it is. Is it going to bring it up? No. Now where did it go? When I went OK, should have gone into my documents. I've got two there. One, see the difference? One didn't put the word model on the end of it because I'm plotting the model space, but the one I just did put model. So if I did layout 1, it will just say layout 1. So it's a bit handier as well from that point of view. See if I can right click and open it from here rather than trying to go to my documents. There you go. So that's that basically. You just have, I don't know why that's like that. Doesn't, I don't know, it's alright, it's just my display. Okay, so that's what I need you to send to me for, what do we need? We need to have submit project 2 using eTransmit, and be sure to include the DWFx into it. Now that I've created one, I can do the eTransmit and show you how to put that in there. Alright, so that's on the bottom here in the red, if you ever want to know what to send to me. Alright, and all by email. Okay, so I'll just cancel that for a minute, cancel that. Alright. Okay, so how do we eTransmit? Okay, well that's through here somewhere. I usually type in eTransmit. So if you can't ever find it, just go there. Now it could be anywhere in here. Here it is. Under Publish, eTransmit. There you go. Click that. Alright. It says the current drawing is not saved. Do you want to save the current drawing before continuing? Yeah, you're alright, because I've got no choice, I suppose. And here it comes up and says, okay, well with this drawing I'm detecting that there's you used monochrome before, so you might need it, because I did play with it a bit, so it detected that. And you use this printer as well. Do you want me to include this printer so you can go with it? All right. And then external references, oh yes, there's a drawing in here, I'll include that. Now you've got a choice of unselecting them if you don't want them. For example, I know every person that's got AutoCAD will have this. It's no use me sending them this, they're only just going to be annoying them, unless I've somehow modified them to be different to the normal. Then in that case I should have named them something else, put my initials on the end of it or something. Alright, so I won't include those, but I'll include that. And sometimes it includes special fonts and things like that. If I go to add file now, I can go to my documents and project, I don't know where it's project 2, there it is, that one there, open that up, that includes that under here, under other files. Now the thing is, now what's it going to do? It says it's using this standard eTransmit thing, but what does it do? Let's have a look what it does. Generally that is fine for what you want to do. You shouldn't have to go in here and change it, but just so I can show you a little bit around it, I've got to modify the setups and go modify there. And what it's doing is going to put all those files in a zip file for us, which is great. You can also create an executable, not really advisable, or put them in a folder. Folder is good if it's something huge that can be emailed and you want to burn it to a CD, for example, or put it in a Dropbox or something like that. All right, so that's that. It tells me where it's going to save the zip file, which is under my documents basically. Yeah, overriding and stuff. The other thing is it does is here, do you want to bind the external references? If I tick that, it says, do you want to bind it or do you want to insert it? So I don't have to bind it in my actual drawing at that time. I can do it at the time when I'm sending it to this person that doesn't know how to use XREFs or doesn't have a program that supports XREFs, for example. So I don't have to basically stuff up my drawing by binding it and have to save it as something else, because I still want to continue with my external referencing way. But so you can actually do that there. You can what's the other one is I'm looking for. Saving file names is what saving versions is what I'm looking for. You can purge drawings, which makes them a bit smaller on the way. There's one in here somewhere. Oh, sorry. There's something in here that allows us to change the version, unless this make it save to a previous version, in case they haven't got the current version that you have yourself. I can't quite see it at this point, so I'll leave that for now. Yeah, I can't see it, so we'll just cancel that for a minute. It might be somewhere else. But if you did make some modifications, you should be able to save it as. I can't see where you can save it as here either. So, but you could do a new one, for example, like based on that to start with, and then that's the way to do it. A bit like the dimensions. All right. Okay, so we'll just send it off. I don't know where that thing is where you're saving to a previous version. I just can't see it. So if I go OK, it'll just go there, and you just have to go find your email and attach the file, and so that's what you got to do. You got to go and find that zip file and just send me that zip file. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see 3 different things sent to me. All right, just send me the zip file. And then we're right. All right, so that's basically that. We basically covered the DWFx, exporting, XREF, binding, eTransmitting, and all we've got to do is section plane and that sort of thing in a minute. So that's that. Okay, we'll just stop this one here, I think, and just continue on for the last one.